Aquarius Maximus.
Hi. I'm so glad that I'm in my Jack of Clubs mode because Jack of Clubs don't really do presentations or anything like that. They just kind of speak from off their head and relate with the people and stuff like that. That's Cardi B, by the way. She's a Jack of Clubs. So, she was infamous for just rolling out of bed and getting on social media, start talking to people. And that's really how true and honest the Jack of Clubs energy is. Like literally, it's like I just want to talk to people. Just want to connect. So right now I'm in my Venus period and I'm a Jack of Clubs. So it's okay. That's wonderful. So, oh my goodness. Okay. Oh my goodness. They go to the other side of the Jack of Clubs. Okay. So this presentation is talking, and I'm sorry I don't have that, but I got my slides here, so I'll try to be as descriptive as possible. But talking about really the karmic energy behind cardology. A lot of people have known cardology to be the destiny cards, the cards of truth, the cards of life. There's so many different names. But what we did a couple of years ago, and what I mean by we, I mean by the International Association of Cardology, the founding members, a lot of you, if you study the cards, you probably follow a lot of the people who were the founding members and myself. We came together and decided that we needed a unified name for this, because people are just not going to understand, because they're searching for the cards. They want to know, can I look here? Can I look here? Is this what this is? Is this what this is? So we came together and said, cardology it is. And the card for the word cardology is the Nine of Clubs. And I actually love the Nine of Clubs because the Nine of Clubs is a very, very, very higher teacher, a higher mind, getting you to see things from a different perspective. That is what will snap you out of any emotional down or condition that you're in. You're in this emotional condition because you're fixated on one way of looking at things. And what the Nine of Clubs does is helps you to see and helps you to understand that you are graduating from a lower way of looking at it to a higher way of looking at it. So you should be really happy about that because you're getting ready to go to the next level and you don't have to worry about the old lessons that you went through before. Just like when you're in high school. When you graduate from high school, you never have to go back to high school. So in cardology, we want to graduate from lessons in life that we never have to go back to. I don't want to go back to that. I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to ascend. So thus we arrived at that. Some people didn't like the name cardology, didn't like the Nine of Clubs because they were thinking about the and the emotional, but that's what we're trying to break out of. We're trying to break out of the emotions and get to the pure light of it outside of that. So now you know that cardology and where cardology, just the name comes from. If you're new to cardology, how many people are just like absolutely new, don't know anything about cardology? Oh, wow, love it.
A lot of virgins.
I love it. We can start from the beginning. Okay. So I can do my little intro. So, cardology. We know that the deck of cards is a calendar. And how do we know? Because there's 52 cards in the deck. There are 52 weeks in a year. There are 13 court cards. There are 13 lunar months. There are 13 of the regular cards as well that represent the sun and the 12 zodiac signs. So when you have a deck of cards, you're walking around with an encapsulated, encoded calendar. And they call the deck of cards so many things. They call them the devil's cards, they call them this, they call them that. Supposedly, and I say supposedly because I wasn't there, cardology is at minimum 400,000 years old because supposedly it originates in Atlantis, even before Egyptian times, which is interesting because lately I've been on this whole pole shifting and I've been into this, we're shifting polarities and getting ready to go into our next pole, which is Vega. And we were in, way back, we were in, was it Thuban? And Thuban was an ace of spades, and that was during the time of the mystery schools. So everything was a mystery and we don't know nothing. We're just guessing, like, what happened then? And that's what the Ace of Spades is. The Ace of Spades is you don't know. You have an inkling, you have a clue, you might join a secret society and they may tell you, but you don't know. So that's why we're digging in the pyramids and still digging and trying to find, because these things occurred during a time when our poles were aligned to mystery. So we're moving towards enlightenment. Everybody knows everything. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to spill the beans. It don't even matter anymore. It's not secret. It's not, you ain't got to join the Masonic temple no more. You don't have to, whatever. So you know when I'm here, I'm spilling the beans, because that's what we do. I'm like from the Nine of Diamonds tribes, and we tell everything. So they give it to us, and it's gonna hit the streets. So now, guess what? It is what it is. We all know. So that's why I'm here, and then one selected as one of those representatives to do it. And I'm also a projector in home design, so you know, I'm definitely here to spill the beans when we want to hear. But so it's an encoded calendar, but it's so much more than that, and that's what this here is about. So I'm a data scientist. I'm an AI expert. I'm an engineer. I'm a geek, right? So on one side of me, I work with data and building models and algorithms. And on the other side, I do Cardology, which is data and algorithms. Go figure, right? And only a person that does both of them would know, like put two and two together, like this is the same thing, you know? So that's kind of what you're here to learn about Cardology, that will kind of like boost your energy, because it's not just a woo-woo thing. And you know how people look at us when we do, I look at people funny when they do woo stuff. So I look at myself funny when I do woo stuff. So you know how people are when you do woo stuff and like, oh, you know that spiritual God, all right, don't really mean anything. You can't prove it. Guess what? I can prove it. Yeah. Because I got data. I have data, the data to back it up, which is groundbreaking, because this is the data that can prove the woo stuff. You know? So that's what I get excited about, because I'm a 4 clubs. And we gotta know, like, we gotta have the hardcore details, like, prove it. You know what I mean? Prove it. If you don't prove it, I'll prove it. You know, I don't wanna just tell you something and you just accept it. I want you to have evidence. I want you to test me, test evidence. You know? So that it can become an established belief system, because that's what we're here, we're building belief systems. And it's a battle between the belief systems. And the belief systems that will stand are the ones that can prove themselves by giving people a good life, you know, informing them, giving them unlimited information. And you know, I just came back from Chichen Itza, and they said that the Mayans said that there was nothing more important than information. Like, that was the highest thing that you could achieve and get. So getting information. So Cardology is chock full of it. That's why we're all addicts. My mom's a Cardology addict. We all addicts. We talk cards all day long. Everybody's a card. I may not remember you, but I'm gonna remember your card. And when I remember your card, I'm gonna know how to deal with you. I'm gonna automatically code switch into your language and work with you. And you know, and that's great, because I don't have to get offended or get mad or get angry, because you do stuff a certain way. You're supposed to do it that way. Because guess what? When I walk into your card, like we do in Cardology, I'm gonna do it your way too. And then we're gonna be friends. Right? We're gonna be really close, because one year I'm you, and I'm experiencing life the same way you experience it. And I'm like, oh my God. So now we're besties. And 2 years ago, we couldn't stand each other. You know? Wonderful thing with Cardology. So I'm gonna start out with 2 people. And like I said, I think the biggest evidence is the coincidences. That's why we walk around collecting birthdays and cards and stuff like that. Because you tell even the most skeptical person what their card is, you start reading them like a book, and they're like, and either they're not gonna say anything to you and go home and start digging, you know, or come back and ask you a question. And I don't care what they are. I don't care what religion they are. I don't care what culture they are. I don't care what race they are. it is not going to matter. What is going to matter is they're like, oh my God, I'm seen. Like, tell me more. Everybody wants to know about themselves. Everybody. Like, you spoke my language. You're telling me, you're on it, right? So, two people that I'm pulling up, one is Only Richmond. So Only Richmond is, I guess, what we call the godfather of cardology in America. He started an order called the Order of the Magi, which again is that Ace of Spades, right? Mystery coming out of the Masonic temple. God knows what they knew. I don't believe all the stories of how they got it, because I know you're going to tell me how they got it, but I can tell you how they got it, you know? So of course he said that he met somebody, and I believe a French Indian, and he said, I gotta pass this information on to you because if I don't, it's gonna die with me and no one's gonna know. So supposedly he passed this information and he he left his job, I think he was a pharmacist or something, with a 3 of diamonds. Interestingly, they work with alcohol and drugs a lot. If they're not using it, they're working with it. But he went up to Chicago and he started the Order of the Magi and started teaching this information. He was born February 22nd, right? Which is a 3 of diamonds day. And why that's important to me is because one of my children were born February 22nd. And we're like inseparable. Not that I want to be sometimes, but she's like joining my hip, right? But I am a 4 of clubs. I'm her earth card. So she's sun and I'm earth, right? So I rotate around her. It's her world. I call her Brittany because Britney Spears is also a 3 of diamonds. So when she gets snappy, I be like, Brittany. And she's like, okay. But so his 4 of clubs was a man named Milton. I can't ever remember his last name, Pottinger. So Milton Pottinger was born November 16th, my birthday. Wow. Right? So after he passed away, Milton wrote books about cardology. He took over from there. So you have that 2 pair of those 2 masters, the 3 of diamonds and the 4 of clubs. So it's like, okay, what a coincidence that was. He was born on my birthday. No, that's more evidence. That's more evidence. If I say that these days have specific energies and they have a specific catalog of events, which I call karmas, then all we gotta do is sit back and wait for that day to see it kick off. Or all we gotta do is pull up those people, because we got plenty of celebrities now, and see how their lives are going. You know, like currently right now, I got a bunch of Ace of Spades. Almost all of them are born on one day, which is tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday, February 11th. Ace of Spades, right? So even today is the 2 of Spades, which is my grandmother's card, her mother, right? And I can tell you some of the things you can find today. Today you may make some new friends. It's a 2 of Spades, it's a card of friends, right? You may be working on a project with somebody who is very hard to work with. The 2 of Spades helps you to overcome working with other people, because we all have jobs and we go to work with people on their jobs and we don't be like, I'm quitting because I'm not taking this job because I can't work with them. You want that check, so you work with them, right? That's the 2 of Spades. So the 2 of Spades is going to force you to work with others. It is the true Aquarian card, because in the Aquarian age, in the Aquarian, you have to detach from your emotions about things and get the job done, right? So there may be somebody very difficult when you have a 2 of Spades energy. And how do I know we all have a 2 of Spades energy? Because the United States this year is essentially a 2 of Spades. So we're all learning how to work with one another. Guess what? When you learn how to work with one another, there's war everywhere. War, go figure. Like, we're trying to work together and we're fighting, right? But that's the peak of it. We're getting it all out. We're laying it all on the table. You know, when you fight, it's okay, we best friends again. All right. Well, come on, let's duke it out, right? Let's duke it out. So, all across the country, you got the Democrats versus the Republicans. You got the this versus the that, the this versus the that. All 2 of Spades energy, so that we could finally deal with it and work together, because we have to. We all live in this country. Just point blank. We live in a Jack of Diamonds country, by the way, if you don't know. And a Jack of Diamonds is the melting pot. If you look at the family of a Jack of Diamonds person, they got all kind of people in their family. all kind of religions, all kind of genders, all kind of this, all kind of that. And the Jack of Diamonds itself is like the spokesperson for it. They're the spokesperson. They're the politician. They're the governor. That was my grandfather's nickname. They called him the governor on the street because he was a Jack of Diamonds. So he knew everybody. He would go on the street like, everybody would wave. He was like a politician. I was like, my grandfather, a politician or what? Like, hey, or is he a king? What is he? Right? But that's what we are to the world, right? So what we do is we pitch all of this to the world. So yeah, we started it. Yeah, whatever they got going on in their country, now this person is like, I don't know what I am, but I'm this now. They got it from us because we pitched it, we put it out there. But we also bring in this new Aquarian age because what we're doing is unveiling the fact that there are way more different types of people and things that we even know of. We haven't even seen them all yet. They haven't even come to the light yet. There's blue people, there's green people. You arguing about this person, that person, and what happens when this person come out the water? And this person comes, they ready to come too, right? So we have to get people ready and open up with a Jack of Diamonds for a true galactic world, right? So that's what we do. And they don't like us, but we cool though. Everybody still wants to be our friend. They still want to listen to our music. They still want to dance with us. We still the most interesting people in the room when we go out the room. So, it's just smoke and mirrors. But the point of the matter is we gotta love ourselves for being a Jack of Diamonds. And that is, the lesson here. We have to learn to love ourselves. We can't listen to all of that, the hate. America's concept of the haters has gone all over the planet. It's gone viral. So we all know, you got haters. You gotta have haters. Let your haters be your motivators. All that stuff. We did that. Because in other countries, hater, you die. You know what I mean? You don't go with what we want. You die. You go. We're like, oh no, they're a part of the thread of life. They make me better. That type of thing. So we're pushing out all of these different lifestyles and information and data that's coming straight from the future to now. So, speaking of my daughter, she's another example I give. I said she's a 3 of diamonds, and her name is Nyla, right? So one day I'm getting my nails done. You see I like to get my nails done. And my fancy dancy nail person is sitting there, and I found out she's a 3 of diamonds, because that's what we do. We ask everybody, what is your card? And what is your birthday? Oh, you're 3 of diamonds. Okay, cool. So she's doing my nails. She picks up her phone, and she's talking to somebody, and she goes, okay, Nyla, I'll see you later. Nyla, 3 of diamonds. I said, who's that? She said, that's my daughter. I said, my daughter is a 3 of diamonds, and her name is Nyla. Right? So here we got the connection again. The other day, last month, I was at some event. I was at a vision board event. This lady comes up, and I asked her what her birthday is. And I'm like, so I find out she's a 10 of hearts. So I'm like, oh, Sierra. And she goes, how did you know? And I said, I was in my head, I was like, I was talking about Sierra, the other 10 of hearts, but tell me your name is Sierra too. Your name is Sierra. Right? So all of these cards, they have like a catalog, like your own book of life, of knowledge that comes with one card. It has names, it has personalities, it has colors, it has things you like, it has all this stuff in data scientists, data scientists we call categorical data. It has like a whole big book, like I'm looking to the thing and I pull it out and this is all the stuff I could possibly find in one that makes sense. From the shadow side to the light side, you got both. And you won't just be the shadow, you won't just be the light. You will float back and forth between different things, but sometimes you just can't help it. You fall in a karmic trap. You like in a trap, like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like somebody runs up in your house, you got a gun, you shoot them, you kill them. You didn't want to kill anybody, but you fell in a karmic trap that's in your cards that you may kill somebody. It's just that simple. So I can't even call it good or bad anymore, right? And I can't even say it's free will, because it's like you're walking into a condition. and the conditions are all right for this thing to happen in your life right now. And that's why people can't understand. So you'd be like, well, they're going to start studying cardology and then start trying to avoid this and avoid that and avoid that. So guess what? They got another fix for us. Them architects, I call them architects. They got another fix for us. You try to avoid this, then you ain't going to get this. What you trying to get to? So you sit there and try to think that you're going to just keep breaking the rules, like my Ace of Diamonds son. That's the Ace of Diamonds, they're warlocks, right? So they can manipulate things and change outcomes and all kind of stuff, right? So he's sitting there like, he come to me and like, Mom, can you get a reading today? I'm like, whatever. Okay, so giving a reading. He said, okay, so you said this. All right, I'm going to change that. I'll see you later. And I'm like, who do you think you are? You're going to just change the thing. But he's an Ace of Diamonds. That's what they're going to do. If they don't like it, they're going to change it. Right? And they can. They can change it. It's hard. And because of trying to change everything, they can live a hard life. You know what I mean? Imagine, just, here I go again. Let me go out trying to change the world. They can live a very hard life, but still prosper. But at the end of the day, live a very hard life. So that's why, even as a cardologist myself, I'm a higher end magician. Ace of Diamonds is my peak. So that means when I get to a certain level, I become an Ace of Diamonds, which I did. I officially changed my name, right? And when the judge signed the paper, guess what day he signed it on? An Ace of Diamonds. So I didn't choose it, and all my people were like, this on Do Not Disturb, that's the Queen of Clubs. So the Queen of Clubs is the disruptor, by the way. You got a Queen of Clubs child, they will interrupt your whole life, okay? And that's mine right there. So he's gonna interrupt me. He's probably gonna try to put on a thing. So I already know how he go. They got a 10 of spades in Mercury, which is disruption. So here they go. I'm on the phone with the Queen of Clubs. And then they're like, hold on a second. I like, you got kids, don't you? It was like, and that's why the Queen of Clubs is a single mom. And that's why, they really can't stand us in the workspace, but they know we gotta go pick up my kids, early, gotta leave early, gotta do this, gotta do that, gotta make sacrifices for my kids, and that's what a Queen of Clubs is gonna do because she's Mother Mary. So you hire Mother Mary, you gotta be very single mother friendly. Even if she ain't a single mom, she gonna act like a single mom. She's still doing everything. The husband, but then she's still, I gotta go. And she's a Queen of Clubs. So, and it interrupted my train of thought. So, yes, Ace of Diamonds. So, I'm in I get the call and I look on the paper. I'm so excited because you don't know what day they're gonna do the final hearing. So I'm like, whatever day they do the final hearing, it's my new car. And I'm like, what am I gonna be? I'm being born again. I'm like super, super excited. So, found out it was an Ace of Diamonds. So I told my followers, and they're like, yeah, I'm like, guess what? I'm being reported. They was like, oh, you chose that. You know the Ace of Diamonds is a warlock and this, and you want power. I said, I didn't choose it. It was like, they chose it. Honestly, here it is right here on the paper. So, and this so happened to be my peak card. So what does that mean? It means I'm at my peak. I'm approaching my peak at minimum. So I could get excited some more. I'm like, oh wow, I finally made it. I've been working really hard. And here I am, somebody hands me the biggest reward of them all for me, So that's some of the wonderful things in cardology that are there. Because our problem as humans is that we have no patience. We think when it's a whole lot of bad stuff going on, that means it's just bad. It's gonna get worse. When it could possibly get no worse, you can only go up from here, right? So that's how we get it. But, looking at the cards, some of the biggest things that we want are preceded by the most difficult cards there are. 3s and 9s and 7s, especially 7s. Nobody likes 7s. Because 7s are lessons, spiritual lessons, right? So you're trying to live totally physical, and spirit is like, I'm throwing some monkey wrenches your way, left and right. Poop, poop, car accident. Fall down the stairs, fire. And you sitting here like, then you finally made it through, right? And then what is it? Well, it's the card of faith. So now you have some faith because you know, hey, I'm still living. I made it through. And there would be no faith if there were not tests. Because what would a word like faith be if there weren't tests? Like, what would it wouldn't exist. So it is associated with tests. And that's the same thing with the karmas that are in cards. They come intertwined. They may seem like they're not. They may seem totally unrelated, you know, but when you look at the grand scheme and you start to see the patterns that they create, you realize, and then you learn another level of cardology and you realize how this thing is equal to this thing. And even though it doesn't seem like that, just on a mundane level. So thus, that 9 of clubs seeing things from a totally different perspective is what it's going to allow you to be. So most of the time, I'm real happy. And my unhappiness might last an hour, 2 hours, or whatever. But I can snap back real quick. And why? Because I can shift my focus from this day to 10 days from now or to next year even. And to other people, you know, like you go to a psychic, right? And you know, you can go to psychic readings too. And you tell them, a psychic never wants to tell you. And you say, when am I going to get married? A psychic never wants to tell you, in about 3-4 years, nobody knew your money is going to be hurting, honey, right? Nobody wants to hear that, right? So you're like, 3 or 4 years. I was hoping like now I just met this really cute guy and I'm ready to get married, you know? So, but with cardology, you know, you can look into a year, you can peer into a year, you got your yearly spread, and you're like, okay, this is not a good year for love. But it's a good year for money. Ruled by the same planet, even though it's Venus, it's a very Venus year, so at least, hey, I'm gonna get that money. And then so my clients come to me, and I'll be like, I hate to disappoint you. And this is to most women nowadays, because we're moving in Aquarian age, most women in general, is that you are supposed to get your money out of the way first before you get your honey. Back in the days, you get your honey, and your honey came with the money, but the honey don't come with the money no more. So, you gotta get the money, and then get the honey. So, most of you come to me, I just tell them really like, you know, Glenda-ish, and I'm like, focus on the money. This is good, these are really great money cards, get that money, you know? And because getting the money in cardology will help you to be more transparent. You know what I mean? The money getters are more transparent. The ones that want to go for the honey, we're going to soup ourselves up all over it and not act like we want a dime. You know what I mean? Because we want honey. But the money getters, cut and dry. We need money to pay these bills. Okay? So that's kind of where we are. And that's another thing. It helps you to be more authentic and more transparent because you're going to play the hand that was given you. You know, when you play a hand, like literally when you play poker, you're not trying to play nobody else's hand. You won't win. You're going to play the hand that was given you. And in cardology, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to play the hand that was given you. So in a particular year, you get this hand. Okay, this is the hand that I got. And people always think it's bad, like with the worst cards. They see a bunch of spades and clubs. They see all that sea of black, right? And they're like, it's not going to be a good year, is it? I'm like, it could be a great year because guess what? Spades, you work for it, it's yours. You're going to walk away from it for to the end of your life. You know, don't get too caught up with the diamonds now. The diamonds is like you got to keep chasing the paper. You know, but the spades, it's like you're going to work hard, you're going to get that money, and you got money forever. You know, and you're going to live a long life, hopefully. Diamonds?
Okay.
So. But your karma card is a spade. And that's another thing. You know, in cardology, you might start looking around, you might see what my birth card is. Honey, you got a whole spread. You got a karma card. Then you got the card you are this year. You got the card you are for 7 years. You got the card you are for 13 years. So God gave you options. You're not stuck in the thing you don't think you like. You're not stuck. Now you gotta play a little harder because you gotta play these other cards. You gotta learn about other people. And that's another thing that I believe Cardology helps bring us together closely, because you're gonna wanna learn about other people, so you learn how to play their cards. What is their superpowers? Guess what? You're their card this year, that's your superpower this year. You could do that too. This could be the year where you publish a best-selling book like J.K. Rowling, because you're 10 hearts. Or the 7 years. But hey, she went through a lot to get there. So just know that it also comes with these karmas. You're 10 hearts. So you're also going to struggle here. So, but look at the reward. So you're like, okay, I see I'm going through these struggles. But there's a reward at the end of these struggles. But you typically wouldn't know that. If you didn't have the blueprint, you wouldn't know. You'd just be struggling. You'd be like, oh, this sucks. My life sucks. I'm never going to make it as a published author. I'm never going to do this and all this other stuff. But then the card, what the person went through, and you know that this person is like single-handedly the most richest book author on the planet. So it's telling you that these are big rewards that come along with this card. So that means big tests, big work, big problems, big struggles, period. So it's so dynamic, and like I said, it's one of those things where I'm an astrologer too, and I love being an astrologer. I love astrology. Astrology is involved because astrology really enhances the energy that's there, So an ace of diamonds that's sitting 1 year in Jupiter is going to be different than an ace of diamonds that's sitting 1 year in Saturn, But they're still going to have they're still going to have the same superpowers. But 1 year may be harder, but more long-lasting. Saturn will last forever. And 1 year may be easier, but that money goes flying out your hands. Mercury, So it's that simple. So it makes astrological concepts even easier to understand. You can build a whole natal chart. You can build a whole progressive chart. Anything you can build on astrology, you can build in Cardology in one spread without any degrees and and aspects and all of that. You can build the same way. So that's why I love it. Because I'm like, whoever did it for us loves us, because I don't want to have to do all of that. I'm a 4 clubs, and I like things simplified. And I like to simplify things for people. That's what I do. I'm that simplified translator. That's why I'm in blockchain. That's why I'm in AI. Because I'm going to tell you about crypto in ways other people are not going to tell you in crypto. And I'm like, don't listen to them. They're telling me they're just doing too much. This is what it is. It's money. It's new money. It's Ace of Diamonds. It's Ace of Diamonds time. It's time for new money. It's new money. So treat it as such. Don't treat it as you think this is an investment that you're going to lose your money. You're already losing your money. Because that money is going. And this money is coming in. So then you have Cardology to look at approximately when it's going to happen. Like, okay, when? This year. You know what I mean? For everybody. So you get to look at these things and you get to judge a little bit better. Me, right now, I'm a 6 of diamonds, which is the lordess of time, because I'm a 6, dealing with time and stuff like that. So time is really important for me, right? I want to know when, right? But as a 6, I also am supposed to learn patience, because the best thing comes to those who wait. So just keep working, and then one day you're going to look up, and it's there, So I had to teach people that too. So when I do talk about crypto and all these other things, I'm not one of these people that I'm telling you you're going to be rich tomorrow. And if you want to be that person, I'm going to go over here. And you could go to these other, meme coins and all this other stuff and live your best life. But that's not me. I'm way more practical. So where we are, I know I sped through mine. So I talked about categorical data and building data. I built apps. I built a Cardology app called Cardology Pro, which I'm still building. It's a work in progress because I'm still building. I'm working on the AI side of it, and I'm working on training a model that will utilize Cardology in its deductions and reasonings. So building this, and in it, I want, in our classes and stuff like that, we spend every day, like I have a class, a certified class that we come together 2 days a week. I never miss a week, so we come together 2 nights a week. And we basically soak and bask in the energy of the week or the day. And that's how you fully learn the system, is by paying attention. Really paying attention. But not just paying attention, believing what you are paying attention to. Believing it. Yes, this did happen today. And it's possible this could happen on any day that is that card. That is a belief system. You still gotta believe it. You can still ignore it, but after a while you won't be if you're basking in this energy every day and you see like, and there's a lot of quiet people like, dang, I just experienced that. I'll talk about what happened, and then you're like, dang, I just experienced that. That's the beautiful proof and the rock solid energy of being able to instill it in people so that they know that there is something going on at least, and they know that they can determine and reason what these things are related or correlated to, and that's when I start talking my data science voice, sorry. These things have a correlation to. And I love data, I do. Like I love the geeky side, I love the logic left side. I used to be, well, not the left side, whatever. But I used to be on the more spiritual side, you know, and I still was a techie, but I was on the more spiritual side. But I think as I get older, I get even more data, even more nerdy, even more geeky. And that is because I am progressing to the 5 of Hearts, which is my transformation card. And the 5 of Hearts is the gamer. And I've become a 49-year-old gamer. I've always been a little bit of a gamer, but I'm a mega gamer now. I build games. I build metaverses and stuff like that. I live in the metaverse like part-time residence in the metaverse. And I have a son who's a 2 of diamonds. And I have him, the 2 of diamonds is my twin. It's my Mercury card. So whoever's your Mercury card, they're your twin. They also represent your children. They represent on a higher level what your children are going to be like. So when I'm doing a reading for you, I look at the 2 of diamonds, I look at the Mercury card, and if you've got children, I can tell what kind of children you have. I look at the moon card, I can tell how your mom was. I have a Queen of Diamonds moon, so you can imagine how my mother is. Queen of Diamonds. Put it together. We just went shopping yesterday. So I can tell how your mother is. I can look at your Jupiter card, tell how your father was, and how your husband is going to be if you're a woman. Or, you know, or tell, even with the Mars, a little bit of the Mars. Or tell how you desire to be. All of these things are going to make up your spread and talk about you. And then when you get together with someone, you become a new energy. That's the combination card. We start getting the relationship card. So I was talking about my son, he's a 2 of diamonds, and our combined card is a 6 of spades. So I literally see this boy walking my entire life growing up. Like, so, but he won't listen to me, of course. He won't listen to anything I say, I don't know nothing. You know, 1 minute he's a socialist, the next minute he's a communist, but he's a socialist, and then he's a freedom fighter, and then he's this, and now he's sustainable energy, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I think I was all of that when I was a kid too. And he's very talented. He's a pianist. He taught himself he's Prince. He has a 10 of diamonds in Uranus. He taught himself every instrument, and all night he's playing music. And he is a developer, like his mom. He develops games. He's been developing games since he was 13. So he's like my twin. He's like literally my twin. And we have a twin energy going on. He's my Mercury. But just because he's my twin, he don't believe it. I know it. I'm the old one. He doesn't believe it. He's a kid.
What do you mean by combined card?
So I am a 4 of clubs. He is a 2 of diamonds. There is an equation that you can add the 2 cards and you will get the resulting cards. Just like in astrology where you have a composite planet, in cardology you will have a composite card. So everybody that you with, you come together with, there becomes an energy that starts playing out between you. Same thing with me in the whole room. There's a composite energy with us, right? And the fact that we're in the room, and I was telling you about the law of attraction, means that we're all holding some of the same thoughts. That's how you get to be in the room with people. Same thing in elementary school. Everybody's in the 7th grade. who gets to pick who's in your homeroom class, who's in your class, right? Well, your class is comprised of people who have the same thoughts. They have the same energies. So they got the same struggles if they're the same age. Their perspective might be different. You know, some people, it don't mean anything to them, and other people, they're very sensitive, and this is a lot. But they're still going through the same experience on that same age. I could say age 23, for instance. That particular spread is one of the hardest spreads that there is. We're always talking about that spread. Age 23 is horrible, right? So you got a lot of young men that pass away at age 23. The women seem to fly through a little bit better, the young girls. But the guys, they go through some serious tests during that time, you know, and they tend to be alone, more solitude in that. So they don't really have nowhere. Age 23, remember, age 23, young guy, ain't got a lot of people around him, and he's trying to figure out why it seems like he was cursed from life. You know, nothing is going right. Very, very, very hard. But this is a particular spread, and on this spread, you will see all of the different placements and how pretty much everything on that placement is challenged for anybody, right? Then you have age 7, which if you know your astrologer, that's like the first square to Saturn, right? The age 7 spread is going to reflect that. It's going to be difficult with your parents. My grandson, when he was 7, this little boy just stopped. He basically walked out of school. He mouthed off to his mother. Never did this because her mother's an Aries. You don't mouth off to an Aries. Mouthed off to his mother. She almost sent him down south, but she would never let him out of her sight. She was like, I'm considering it. He could come stay with you. Queen of Clubs. He's a Queen of Clubs too. So this spread will tell you that. So imagine in the future when everybody has this data, and I imagine that people are going to have it in AI. Your AI is going to tell them, this is not a good day for you to do this. Or you might not want to have a kid this year. You might want to wait. You can try. It's going to be a struggle the whole way, and you're going to struggle, and you got struggle kids. And then the struggle kids going to grow up to be struggle adults, and then they're going to be big. The struggle people make big things. But hey, still, you don't have to go through the struggle. Don't go through the struggle. You'll have that choice. But your bot, like my bots, are going to alert you, you know, and let you know and say, hey, you know, you may not want to go out driving this morning. Stay home. Okay, I'll stay home. You know, this is the type of stuff it's going to be able to do just off on the energy of the day. And I'll explain the energy of the day real quick. For some scientific minds, the Earth goes around the sun approximately 1 degree, right? You get 364 plus some God knows odd number, which will also represent the 0 as the Joker, because the Joker doesn't have a degree of number of rulership. But every one of those degrees changes our electromagnetic frequency, right? And because the electromagnetic frequency is changing, your perception is changing. It's all perception. It's like your perception shifts. You got a different, you know how when you eat something one day, you wake up the next day and it tastes good, but it didn't taste good the day before? Or this day you couldn't solve this problem. I do this all the time. I'm coding, I'm in the software and I'm stuck. And I'm like, okay, you know what to do, so pack it away. You pack it away, you go back the next day, the problem is solved in 30 seconds. You're like, what the hell? Perception. So every day this perception shift changes, but it's constant because it's not like the wobble may wobble a little bit off orbit, but it's not like we're moving 1 degree around the sun and then we move over here and it doesn't change. Every year we're moving these degrees around the sun, so we have these constants that we can go by, that we can measure, that become these daily energies. So that's just a little bit, you can even deeper than that. Electromagnetic changes. Then you have the planets, which exert light, which will also have some electromagnetic influence on us as well, which is why we have astrology. So you have these movements, and then you have these planets, then you got even the outer planets, and you got the North Pole, and you got all of this stuff that is altering our perception of things. And we're moving into a period where we become less effective and more effective. So I can tune into that altered perception and walk into it and just take it on, you know, without resistance, and I make it even more powerful. And that's why you got, I guess, you know, you got all these starseeds and all these wonderful people walking around here, you know, doing what they do because they stepped into a electromagnetic frequency of perception and they rocking it. It's like, this is my thing, we're gonna rock it. So Cardology explains so many things. I don't know if she's holding up the 10. I think I see her waving numbers. Are you seeing me yet? Do I got 10?
I'm feeling good.
Oh, I'm good? Oh, okay. I can still talk. So I guess I could get to the point where I could take some questions. How far am I in?
It is 10:50.
10:50. So I got a good time. Look at my time. Okay. 9 of clubs. One of my students. Hi. You have a question?
I have a question, because at the beginning when you were talking, I thought, oh, this little astrology, and then you talked about the women. Which came first, astrology, and then people put it in cards, so it's easier to see versus in the ethers?
The symbology. I mean, we live in a symbology planet. Everything is symbolic of something. And that is something that helps us to be able to come together as a unit, where it's just not a walking, floating energy, but this helps us to be able to deal with people, just the symbols, you know, because we don't speak the same language, and we are different beings from all over the place, but guess what? Numbers are universal, right? So a lot of this is based off of the numbers. That's probably the thing that comes first. Because even if you look at the cards, there are numbers there. You got 1, you got ace, you got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 13. It's really numbers. 13 and 13 would be the king of whatever suit. So it's still numbers, but it's in because we're very visual and we're people, this helps us to get a better understanding of the energy. Because if you're looking at the number 13 versus looking at a king of hearts, per se, you may understand, you know, the king of hearts a little bit better than you're going to understand the number 13 or, you know, whatever.
How about the numerology aspect?
Yeah, the numerology is valid. The numerology is valid. All of these things will help you to encode and decode Cardology even better. All of these things. If I had my screen, I could show you something we use called the Grand Solar Spread. Some people call it the Book of Life, the Book of this, the Book of that. It's the Grand Solar Spreads. It's actually 90 spreads representing 90 years of life. And then it just resets itself. So this was done off of a shuffle. Now, was this shuffle the shuffle, like to say like this is the shuffle of all shuffles? Well, this was only Richmond's shuffle that he, and I don't know where he got it from. He got it from the temple, because I said don't let him leave the temple. But the shuffle is very effective, and I'm beginning to believe because time was behind it, not just time, but the shuffle was done at a particular time. People don't understand how tarot works. When somebody is doing a tarot works on time. Tarot, everything works on time. And if you're moving from a decoder to an encoder, I can imprint your life right now that you take with you and you manifest. Versus you're looking at it saying, this is happening to me. No, this is what you're gonna make happen, if you want to. So that's, you know, like some people like me, Ace of Diamonds, people don't like to read me because I'm Ace of Diamonds, so I'm constantly making it. So they're like, oh, you're gonna come back and you're gonna do something totally different. So it's like, this is my tarot, like my favorite tarot friend. I'm like, oh, what are we reading? She's like, okay, whatever, Aquarius. Now go ahead and change it. Like, especially love.
So if I remember right, you had said that Cardology goes back 400,000 some odd years to Atlantis, but if memory serves, the earliest evidence that we have physical cards is something like 1,000 years ago. So where was it for that other?
Well, because it wasn't cards. These symbols changed over time. So even like the Mayans have it. The Mayans have the same thing. 52, everywhere you see the number 52, we're going to that same logic, because 52, like 52 cards, 52 is very prevalent in Mayan society as well. And this is what we call the God number. This is the God card in Cardology, right? and you'll find calculations of the Great Pyramid to equal 52 degrees. You'll find all of that, like all over that number. You want to look at things like that because remember it, like life is just categorical data. If it's the same number, it's going to fit in a category. It's going to fit in the category from whence it came, from whence it is a part of. So you do want to do the associations. Even names. It could be, the name could be Derek, but it could be spelled D-E-R-E-K, or it could be spelled D-E-R-R-I-C-K. They're still going to be the same energy. They're still coming from the same place, no matter how many different spellings it is. So you may have a particular card, and you were born on a particular day, and your parents named you this name, which is encoded in this energy. They couldn't name you nothing but this name. So some people change their names, and they're like, I don't like my name. It doesn't matter, it's still in your energy. It's still there. It doesn't matter what language it was. It's still your energy. That's why a lot of people, when they want to tell me their birthdays, no matter, I'm gonna read your name. I'm gonna read your spring name. I'm going on dating sites, it's so fun. Hey, what's your birthday? Oh, you're one of those. Yes, I am. And you're like, well, I'm not gonna tell you my birthday, but I'm not gonna use your birthday. I'm just gonna use your spring name. And then I just start telling them about themselves, and then they just get disappeared. It's so much fun.
So you talk about birthdays. So do you use the full birthday for the year?
The year is simply for when I want to look at progressions. Like I want to see your now chart, your 7-week, your yearly chart. The year is important, but ages are important too. But that's a little bit deeper because I'm a 4 clubs, but like I said, Milton was a 4 clubs too. But he was born in the 1800s or 19, so he was born at a totally different age. I'm born in the age of really, honestly, we're in one, even though we're going into the Aquarian age or we're in the Aquarian age, we're in this mini Leo age. That's why everybody wants to be a star. And everybody's on social media. And everybody's doing lives. And everybody's doing this. And everybody's dressing up and looking good. We're all right? But in Milton's years, they weren't in the Leo age. So Milton was a true 4 of clubs like myself that didn't really want to get out. So he could be as smart as he wanted to be, but he wasn't going to reach his fullest potential because he didn't put himself out there. Plus, he didn't even have the medium to do it. He didn't have the internet. I have the internet. So I'm like Milton times 10 now. You know what I mean? And I get to continue like the work he does, but I get to do it on a big, broader scale. So that is really important, what age you're born in as well.
So the year, so having the year, because I've had somebody do cards on me, and they like do a few diamonds. And it was like, okay, but you're saying that yearly. So the way you do cards is not.
Well, they probably do it that way too, but a lot of people, they don't necessarily teach what this used to be the advanced way was to teach the progressions and that you change. You know, there are certain cards in cardology that don't move. We call them fixed cards. I call them God cards. They're all God cards. You have like a Jesus, you got a God, you got a God, the Holy Spirit, and Christ. You got those 3 cards, and they are God. They are the King of Spades, the Jack of Hearts, and the 8 of Clubs. My Mars card is 8 of Clubs, so in some area of my life, I got that little God thing that's in the brain part, right? But in the heart part, it would be the Jack of Hearts. And the King would just be like, who stays? I'm just everything, you know? But then you have all the other cards, and you have what's called the semi-fixed cards, and they only move one other place every year, right? And then you have the ones that move around every year. You're a card that moves around, right? And because you move around, one year you could be me, or one year you could be someone else, or one year you could be someone else. So it adds a different dimension in how you're able to access more energies to do what you came here to do.
I have a question. So a friend of mine did like a chorology report for me, but she did it because my birthday was June 1st, but I was born at 12:47 a.m. So she had to do like took me at 8 o'clock, and then she recorded. She didn't record at 9 o'clock too, because she's saying because they like FaceTime.
exactly what the day is. If that's before 12 o'clock and the clock says, I go by what the clock says. And the clock says that it's that day, that's the day that I go by. So you're at 9 o'clock. Yeah. So, yeah. And real quick, I'm sorry, real quick. Another way that's very helpful is because you're going to show up in everybody's life as how you are. So when you start really learning the cards, you kind of get to see how you show up in everybody else's life. Like for instance, my mom's an 8 of diamonds. I find 4 plus 8 of diamonds pairs everywhere. It's always going to be a pair of a 4. Sometimes the 4 of clubs is the mother, 8 of diamonds is the daughter. Sometimes they're sisters, whatever, but they travel in pairs. 4 diamonds tend to travel as twins. A lot of times they have twins. If they don't have twins, they have another 4 diamond sibling that is a couple of years younger or a couple of years older. But they're twins. They're still twins. It's hard. So I have a set of 4 diamonds, and they're a year apart, and everybody thought they were twins. Everybody thought they were the same person. And one would leave the room, the other one would go, and it'd be like, I thought it was the same person. Like literally. So yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to understand how it works. So you get your main card from your birthday, but how are the other ones like your Mercury or whatever calculated? Is it by the calendar?
Yeah,
Or is
okay.
it by a shuffle?
It's okay, so you have that major shuffle that we call the grand solar spread. And the age 0 spread represents the incarnation spread, like when you come into life because you come in as age 0. And on that, there are 13 cards that are important to you because they're your natal cards, right? So your first card that's sitting right next to you is going to be your Mercury card. The next, your Venus card. It goes in the order of the planets, out in the outer planets. So you actually have a whole spread, just like in astrology, you have a whole natal chart. So that's why people, they get like, I don't like my card. Well, you got other cards to play with, you know?
Do you have a book or a website or something?
I
where
do.
could
I
look
do.
up
You can go to AquariusMaximus.com. I have a ton of tools.
Okay.
But when you go to AquariusMaximus.com and you click my contact form, I will have a free ebook for you to like explain some stuff. So you can go there, you click contact, and I will send you all the ebook that I have that kind of like goes over some of the basics, and it has a birthday chart in there, and it has some explanations of some cards and stuff like that.
But you don't have a book here.
No, not yet. Because I'm a 4 plus, I ain't never prepared. I'm supposed to prepare everybody else, but I ain't never prepared. Like, never. But I was, I'm just like really busy, so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna show up.
What is your root number?
Yeah.
A couple questions. What's your root number?
Huh?
Your root
Oh, I had a book, but I wasn't prepared. No, serious. But I will be here kind of floating around and stuff like
Okay,
that.
and then you talked about, at the very beginning, about movie stars, their birthdays tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is
Ace of Spades Day.
Ace of Spades.
February 11th, right? Yeah, Ace of Spades.
Okay, and the third question is that your coin that you put in your description?
Yes, Blockpoint. I am the founder of a cryptocurrency. I'm the first woman to develop and launch blockchain cryptocurrency coin, and I am a globally recognized expert. I'm a globally recognized expert in AI now. So yeah, that's
So I can look at it and buy it.
Blockpoint. Guap. G-A-E.
How do I purchase?
GUAP?
We're on an exchange called Probit, but we're getting ready to expand to some other. Probit.com has us, so that's one exchange that has us, but we're getting ready to really do some major expansions. We launched back in 2017, and I'm probably one of the only truly organic crypto, meaning that we ain't launching no money. We didn't do enough ICO or anything like that, and we just build a community. And we're branching out. I started out as a crypto that I wanted to use to impact the African American community. And I started there because we usually last in everything, right? But this is a global thing. Like I literally just came back from Mexico and I said, okay, we gotta go through all these translations. We gotta bring this to Mexico. We gotta bring this to here. Because one of the first calls I got when I launched Blockcoin was from a Mexican couple. And they was like, we really need something like this. So I had to use that as my, okay, you know what, they're trying to tell you. So we're trying to open up globally now and just impact other communities and stuff. So, but I still trying to get these folks in my community where I grew up in Brooklyn to get on board, like, come on now. But, hey, it is what it is.
Hey, the hood is on, the neighborhood
Yes,
So it's like,
exactly.
It's always the last to come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I learned that lesson, and I've had so much help all throughout the world from all different kinds of cultures. They like open the doors to me wide open. So I'm like, you know what?
Who's ready will take it.
Yes. Yeah.
And, okay, the last question.
Uh-huh.
And you can do different things. You can do astrology, you can do,
I'm just a geek.
card thing, you can do, AI, you can do.
I'm a psychic.
And you can write apps.
Say, wow.
You can do apps.
Yes.
Okay, you can do apps.
Yes, I'm a developer. Yes. Yeah.
She was raised by witches.
Which
witch?
Yes. I'm also a priestess in a tradition we follow. I don't know.
Which one?
I'm a priestess of the side, a priestess of lots of different things, and of the Yami, which is I.e. known as Aquarius. So, yeah.
Can you explain to me about blockchains and this?
About blockchain? So, what about crypto? Do you know about crypto? Oh, okay. All right. So we are a decentralized cryptocurrency, a blockchain, and meaning that this isn't no crypto that we just put a token on. We started on Ethereum, but put a token on Ethereum and just put it out there. We actually have a blockchain. And last year, we launched our layer 2 of our blockchain, which gives us smart contracts that enables us to do so much more, which is what my ultimate goal is, to build a whole entire eco-financial system. There are countries out there that don't even have a currency. Like I'm talking to people in Liberia, talking to people in South Africa. There are groups of people that in order to get their hands on money, it takes 2-3 weeks. and people are going to take away 40% to 50% of their money to give them money. So crypto is needed. Digital currency is needed. Digital currency and blockchain is going to eliminate middlemen, definitely, and hopefully eliminate the Federal Reserve. There's a little, you know, and when we first started out in crypto, the real purists were there, and they were talking all this stuff, and they all got bought out. And I was there, you know what I mean? So I still talk this stuff. So I'm not a very favorite person in the Bitcoin sector.
Well, they're
You know what I
putting
mean?
the system now, but when you
Yeah.
Bitcoin, they're already putting the controls.
Yes, they're already putting the controls over it, and this is what I said. And I'm like, and unfortunately, the people have been misled, and they're running like whatever to think that, oh, I'm gonna get rich off of Bitcoin, I'm gonna get rich off of this. And they're moving away from the whole premise of what it was supposed to be about, which was community, empowerment of people being able to be in control of your own money. All of that, you're moving away from all of that, and you're giving it right back to the Federal Reserve and doing it. So it's an unfortunate thing, yeah, but that's why people like myself, and there's still other, a lot, honestly, there are a lot of women in this that are still kind of with the stuff, but we don't get a lot of the play, you know what I mean? But I have a lot of colleagues, I even have colleagues in Washington, because I'm a member of a policy organization as well, and I just got back from the Department of Treasury a couple of months ago. So we still working both sides. It's not like you can just totally X yourself out of the government. We're working on the government side, we're working on the monetary side, but we're fighting against people who have given up the hope that this could really be what it is.
Well, the reason women are leading is because mamas protect their cubs, and they want a better future for
Yeah.
their children.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Thank you.
Good safe wallet?
Excuse me?
A good safe wallet?
A good safe wallet for what type of crypto?
Oh.
Yeah, there are different types. So if you're using like a smart chain kind of crypto, like Ethereum or something, you use MetaMask. And the reason why you would use MetaMask is it is a custodial wallet that is yours. It doesn't custody your stuff. But you still have to be careful because with MetaMask, you can land on a website, click one button, and somebody drains your account. It's possible. So you have a lot of responsibility when it comes to crypto. It is all on you. No one's gonna really, some people in the community might help you to get it back. And if it's a big steal, they're going, some chains can even help you get it back. But if you lose like 1,000, 2,000 something, you just may lose it. The best bet is to always have backups, to make backups or whatever type of wallet that you have. To not leave crypto on an exchange because it's not in your wallet, it's in the crypto, the exchange. where a lot of the quote unquote hacks come from. But of course, if I own an exchange and I got 100 people that never got a background check or anything like that, they could be dipping in your hot wallet and taking out funds and stuff like that, which has happened in the past, inside jobs, etc. So you want to have a backup, and you just don't want to keep it in exchange. As soon as you buy it, move it from an exchange, unless you want to. You put it on the exchange in order to be able to get another crypto or to transfer crypto, but you don't leave it on the exchange at any moment.
So it's Ledger back.
Ledger? Yeah, well, Ledger, you're talking about hard.
wallet.
Yeah, Ledger's okay, but you gotta understand, don't get too secure, because you lock yourself out. Just be careful,
Is
you
that
know.
something you learned yourself?
Yes, I did. I lost plenty of crypto. Yes, and being the smarty pants that I am, I still lost a lot of crypto. I still did some of the mistakes, and I deleted wallets. Oh God. But stuff like that. And in terms of choosing cryptos, you literally want to get with something that you identify with, because that way you ain't gonna go running the first chance you get to dump the coins and just kill the whole project. And some projects, people are like, well, it was a rug pull. You can tell a rug pull from a non-rug pull. The non-rug pull, these are people that literally are very transparent. You see them all the time, and they've been around for a little bit. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do. And then if they still may fail, because failure is a part, like look at the society that we're living in. People are just not supportive. So they still may fail, but that doesn't mean that they were trying to rug pull your money. And what used to happen back in the days when a project failed is that other people would come in from the community, take it over, restart it, try to do something with it, research it, because it's a community thing. But a lot of people nowadays don't know about the community aspect of crypto anymore. It's just like a loss, so they just it's just the money side. But before it was community, it's like literally you get to become a part of the community, and you're owning this project.
What's your take on hyperverse? Hyperverse?
You know what? I was saying I know everything, but I don't know every project. Nowadays, especially because to be honest, I'm getting more hyper focused on block than I used to be. I used to be trying to be very liberal to everybody and everybody's project, and they'll tell me like, "Come join here, come join here," because of who I am. But now I'm like real bullish over block money now. I'm growing, and I'm turning into a different person. So I'm pushing that. You know what I mean? Because that's the only thing I know right now in this moment. But there are other projects. I mean, even back in the day, I could have been rich 100,000 pounds over. I was definitely there when Binance Chain started, BNB, and I was gonna get a lot, and I didn't get any. So I was like, oh, that's all right. I was like, mine coming down the line, I'm okay. But you get to see what type of ecosystem they're building. Nowadays, what I'm concerned about is the ecosystem for the people. What are people going to be able to do with this? How are they going to be able to use it? Are they being prepared? Are they being educated? That's why we're doing pop-ups now. I have a pop-up coming up in 2 weeks in Baltimore, where I'm just showing up to educate people in the community. Wherever they call me, I show up and I speak.
When you're focused on community and you're talking about these various countries supporting them in there, but what about, do you also focus on cross-border payments so they can get resources into their company?
Well,
is it both? Or?
Well, crypto is one big old cross-border payment. It goes across borders. That's like the most simplest things. Then you're talking about being able to accept it. A large amount of these people have mobile phones, have smartphones now, which is helpful. So that means that they can use their smartphone to be able to accept crypto and transact, etc. You have places, we have people in Mexico. I feel really bad for the indigenous people who have to get caught up in hell. You know what I mean? And stuff like that with the money. I feel for that, and that's not.
Cartel wants that money in their target.
Yeah, exactly. And nowhere in the world, some little Yanni mother is, to me, supposed to be enslaved to that type of system right now. So, so there's lots of reasons for crypto and crypto is growing.
Sorry, I'm gonna stand up. I feel kind of weird just sitting down. So I tried to take it. Oh, actually, I saw you on Black Magic 363. I commented. I'm like, see you Saturday. And actually, so I don't want to sound rude, but I be feeling some kind of type of way about pulling up to events like this because I'm more like ceremonial based instead of like paying
little bit. Last night, I definitely was a time for me because I saw that there's a lot of different, so much clash in spiritual energies here.
Yeah.
I feel it.
It's so much, and they all were in my dreams last night. I was like, what the heck? So it's a lot of that going on, I think.
A lot of what?
A lot of clashing spiritual energies here, you know. So a lot of people who are tuned into different frequencies and are like almost enslaved to these frequencies. You know what I mean? So I have a deal with my spirits. You're not gonna enslave me because I don't do that here on the earth. So you're not gonna do that. Like we're on the same level here. So you know what I mean? So I have a deal with them. I approach spirituality a lot different than other people do. I guess from a place of empowerment because I'm like, you made me the way that I am. So I can only be how I am. And I need evidence. And part of the evidence is my life needs to be decent. My children's life needs to be decent. My children need to be alive, well, and be able to function, or else I won't be able to do anything I'm supposed to be doing that you say I'm supposed to be doing here on earth. You know what I mean? So I'm just a little bit different, but I don't tune in. I gotta test the spirit, I guess, to see if they, and then some spirits you can't marry forever. You know what I mean? Nothing is forever. So when you start to feel and see that it's not bringing you something good results and good fruit in your life, then you better get divorced. I'm a divorced spirit before. So you better get divorced. It's just how it is.
Yeah, so after looking at who were gonna be the presenters, and I'm like, yeah, for sure gotta pull up for Aquarius Maximus. And so I guess I try to seize the moment when it comes to like events like this because like real brief, I don't really know much about like my ancestors. The only thing I do know about my ancestors is what my grandma taught me. So to me that's like enough, like don't know which tribe or don't know.
But you know what? That's what cardology is so great for. You can find yourself in cardology. You know what I mean? Like you can find your people with just a name. Take a name, find a card, find an energy, get the story. Like you can find out so much through cardology. That's why I love that. Like I now feel as though I am a galactic being for real. So I don't feel out of place, out of touch, or whatever the case may be. Like I feel whole.
So for the longest time, I guess that was just not opening doors, trying to find out where I come from. And so I got like, I guess kind of one question, and it reminds me of a time that I wanted to get into like tattooing, but I don't got no tattoos. So
Are you a 4 clubs?
King of clubs.
Ah.
Shout out your app. I know that
Master of knowledge is here in the house with us today. That's good because it means that the master of knowledge is here. The master energy of knowledge is here.
So I guess it kind of brings me back to like any other like really mediums or practices and stuff. Like I'm very kind of skeptical. Besides like the Catholic deal I grew up with, my grandma, I guess the word is she's a healer wherever she grew up, and she learned it from her great grandma. And so she taught me some stuff. And I remember when like I gave her a massage, and she turned around, she's like, "You got it. You have the gift." So she stood me up, and she got this hand, she put it right here, and she got her other hand, put it in my heart, like from my grandma to me to you, I'm passing it to you. Never charge anybody for this, then people like are gonna come into your life. Like you don't gotta go looking for it. So it kind of stuck with me. It's like, dang, like what mediums or what do I pick up, or do I even pick up anything? And what kind of like most like I feel compelled to. I'm a cultural educator right here in LA, where I work with the local tribes, and I work with youth. And besides like beading and murals and stuff, I do natural dyes. So I work with indigo. And as I'm working with like the children, and I dye like their bandanas, I don't know, I just kind of like, I'm not gonna lie, like I know how to get the kids hooked, because they're all like TikTok children and whatnot. So like I just tell them, like I might be faking the fun, but I'm like, yeah, I'm spiritual and I do like Mister, and they got all their attention. So because I'm a workshop facilitator, I dye the bandanas, and there's like 3 different methods that I know how to dye. Like shout out to Shiburi, Japanese and African and Oaxacan, like different methods of dyeing. And so I told them, them, there's the spiral, there's the accordion method, and then there's the freestyle. And I tell them, I was just winging it, but it's kind of working. And I'm like, with those three things, I could tell what personality you are. So I was just like, I'm not gonna lie, I was like BSing, sorry, creator, for like doing it. But I was like, yo, so these three little circles means that your grandma and your grandpa, and they're crying, like, my grandma and grandpa just passed away. And I was like, I'm tripping now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, okay, maybe I am channeling something because the indigo is like very like from what I learned. Like,
A king of clubs is the reason why a king of clubs is a king of clubs is because they're able to directly tap into the universe and bring information down that anybody who's in their circumference needs to hear and whatever. So you would never be BS. And as a matter of fact, king of clubs can't even really lie. You know what I mean? Like they can't.
is that why I feel so bad when I do?
Yes, exactly. So the king of clubs is the card of character. You know what I mean? So when that is present, my son is the king of clubs. So when the kids do something and somebody ain't telling me, he's shut up, just tell them what you did. You know, and whatever. But yes, you can't. So you adhere to a different level of code as a king of clubs. The only thing is, as a king of clubs, you're supposed to be building your empire. You know what I mean? Because you are supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to have a set place where people can come and partake of that information that they're getting from you, and that type of thing. So, but you're definitely tapped in and tuned in at all times. That's why king of clubs, a lot of times you'll have digestive issues because knowledge comes through your stomach, and you say I can't stomach this. So knowledge is coming through your stomach, and if you can't stomach it, then whatever. So you digest information that comes through, and then you share it, and you nourish people. You give them food, information, etc.
So thank you for that. So pretty much I've had this deck of cards for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I was living in my car when I was going to college. I graduated and everything, but my car had gotten stolen, and my life changed. Like I was gonna do some wild stuff, just impulsive, but I just heard a voice, and it's like forgive, and once I forgive, like my life's gonna change, and graduated, whatever, beautiful stuff has come. And like I remember at that time I was playing with these cards, and I was like, dang, just imagine if I could like do readings or something. I'm like, is that even a thing? And I was like, nah, like I don't be messing with that stuff back in the day, right? So would you say that like cards or tarot, or would you equate that to that experience I had with tattooing? Was like, man, how you gonna do tattoos if you don't even got no tattoos? How am I gonna do readings if I never got a reading? So
yeah, I mean, the cards and the tarot, those are the little different beasts, by the way. The cards do predate the tarot. It's said in our circles in Cardology, and I can't confirm it, but it said that the tarot was created by the Catholic Church to throw people off of the cards. The cards are so precise. The tarot is more imaginative and a little bit more speculative. The cards are very precise. You're talking about days. You're talking about minutes down to the seconds, and nobody wants you to be able to predict like that. You know what I mean? Like to be able to know, something to a certain degree, and then that's also very scary for them. So, that was a lot of the banishing, and it's like, well, we can't get rid of it, so let's give them something else that they can, whatever.
We're down to the 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And we have door prizes for you.
My mom wants to get some of her books away.
Talk to us like
She's
that.
also a cardiologist.
Captain has something to give away.
And she was for a long time the head of like one of the most popular clubhouse rooms on astrology.
She still is.
She actually still is. I don't go on clubhouse, I don't know. I just think it's character. But yeah, so she, she's like kind of famous. So in the
Okay.
Take it, Ada Diamonds.
She is an Eight of Diamonds, and that's Paris Hilton. So, they are, and I'm just Kim Kardashian background for Paris Hilton. So when she was the background.
Hey, the
but-
studs don't matter. She could birth you. That's what matters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting how we do this.
I don't know. You don't even know.
Who knows your card?
Yes, you should.
Today's card. Yeah, you get a book. And you
You better do it right. Come on, Oprah.
Jacket clubs.
Look at all my
I'm
cards
hearing
in
some of
here.
all the cards I got right now. I'm hearing.
And they're in my chart.
Readings today, or
Thank you.
Yes. So for everyone here, like I said, March. You're retired? Oh, well, you're right.
What booth are you? She's not prepared. Oh, you don't have a booth.
Oh, no, I did have a booth. I was not there yet.
The book that I gave you, it's called Tuesday. I invited it to the website and it's on Amazon. And it'll help you with the understanding of how to break down the cards. So it goes through the numerology like we were talking about, goes through astrology, then it goes through that. So this is that. What's your card? Yeah. Eight of spades? Oh, wow.
Let's go.
Somebody say, what about this side of the room?
Yeah.
This is my manifestation journey. I manifested a whole.
Okay, we gotta get that side. Hold on.
The whole husband. Yeah, what's January 27th? So this is astrology, numerology, and cardology. You're eight of spades.
King Club, Miss Diamond, January 27th.
Another King Club?
King of Clubs.
So you're the same as the gentleman?
January 27th with King Club.
To know your card, 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. What's your card?
Thanks, sir.
Thank you. You are sitting there all quiet.
It's a card of secretary. It's a card. I am a student.
They need to not do it. So I follow Aquarius, follow Diamond.
She lives, I live alone. I'm right here.
Oh, you guys? There's some in-person classes. That's what she's
Tomorrow is your birthday. She's Ace of Spades.
well, you're my hidden.
Yeah, she's June 3rd.
No, I just heard what she said. That's the one.
I have changed my good side.
I got your side. Every side that was like
You'll feel it, you'll sense it.
Thank you guys.
I feel like I've known you forever. I have heard you on that Clubhouse.
You heard me?
Didn't you say something about you talk about this day and age music, but then the guys back then were singing all the nice music beats and they pick out people. Oh yeah, okay. I did hear you. Yes. Why are you making that face? I'll never forget that. Never you know what you said.
I said
You know what you said. You can't take them back.
I oversaid some stuff.
This is my challenging karma card, and I just met her for the first time today in person. So we roll together.
My website is
Y'all gonna make me do something in the area.
Sorry, my classes. We live right here.